Hey guys, how's it going? So it appears the ATF, otherwise known as the AFT, at least according to the former vice president, it looks like they may be attempting to either take Smith and Wesson down or maybe get them backlogged and delay inventory or possibly increase the price of firearms to consumers. People like me and you who have just dealt with decade high prices over the last year. Now, Smith & Wesson, this is one of the most iconic, longest-standing firearms companies in the United States. They've been in business for over a century and a half, and you can easily recognize that classic Smith & Wesson logo right there. And these are made in New England, in Springfield, Massachusetts. Now, the ATF, allegedly, according to leaked documents that I'm going to show you in 1 second, has a plan, a plot, if you will, to come in there with draconian inspections that are going to mire this company, maybe other companies like Colt, and a lot of their contractors and subcontractors with paperwork, audits, inspections, possibly fines, violations, who knows what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, this seems to coincide with what Biden said he would do. He said, look, I'm coming after your guns. He literally said that. And so far, things like nominating David Chipman, do you remember Waco and Ruby Ridge? I hope you do, and we should never forget those. Many things that he voted on before he was former vice president, when he was a senator for about, 50 years, 100 years, whatever it was. It's all kind of coming together, and it seems like we can't go a week now without having more leaked documents from the ATF warning us about what's going on. So we're going to come over here to this article from AmmoLand. This is written by my friend John Crump. And if you'd like to help support this channel and also Crump's channel, I've partnered with Black Swan Tactical. That's where you can get the 2A EDU merch, like this new shirt here. The link's down in the description, and that'll help both of us keep doing what we're doing. And I appreciate all you guys' support, just sharing videos like this. We just need to get the word out there. That's the most important thing, guys. So it starts off, leak shows ATF preparing operation targeting Smith & Wesson and others. Now, this is a leak that came from internally. So this was an internal email memo that was sent out to the ATF, and they were seeking volunteer IOIs. These are the industry operations inspectors to serve a temporary detail in the Boston field office in mid-October of this year. It was sent out throughout the whole ATF looking for volunteers, and the purpose is to carry out several large-scale inspections of gun manufacturers and subcontractors in New England area. So these IOIs, these are the people that routinely come into your local gun shop. They look at the paperwork, the 4473s, the bound book, the inventory. They may inspect firearms. This is the compliance branch of the ATF, where sometimes if somebody uses an abbreviation, like I'll give you guys an example. If you look over in Los Angeles County, California, there were large gun shops getting violated because users are writing LA County, because everybody knows LA stands for Los Angeles. However, that's technically a paperwork violation. So there's literally, when we talk about how there's 25, 30,000 gun control laws on the federal level, and there are, a lot of these are very specific to FFLs, whether they're an FFL that's just selling firearms, or in this case, an FFL that's manufacturing. There's so many rules. When you send in a team of investigators, seemingly, as this leaked email alleges, just looking for stuff, stands to reason they're going to either A, find something, or B, spend a lot of time in there with all these agents crawling around the facility, the factory, the warehouse, the paperwork, just simply bogging them down, as these factories are trying to run full time to recuperate the inventory, where there's been much more demand than supply over the last year with all the civil unrest and just the way everything's been in this country. People are buying firearms at all-time record highs, and I understand why they are. So it says they want to go across maybe Colt, maybe Smith & Wesson. And during this first leaked email, they didn't list a specific company, just the general New England area. Now it gets a little worse as far as Smith is concerned. In a follow-up ATF email leaked to AmmoLand News, Smith & Wesson was specifically named for the inspections. Seems like they've been in the crosshairs from a lot of groups. I know a California judge ruled that victims of an attack on a synagogue could sue the gun manufacturer, even though there's a law that indemnifies them from being sued over the misuse of their product. And we'll get back to that law in 1 second. That's something the former vice president and the former junior senator from California have both been advocating to get rid of. They're wanting to get rid of the Lawful Protection and Commerce Act. They want to make it where if somebody commits a crime with a firearm, okay, that they can sue the creator of the firearms company. And as it says later on in this article, that'd be akin to somebody drinking and driving and being able to sue the car manufacturer or even the alcohol manufacturer. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? Well, this is something these people have been advocating for. And in my opinion, it seems that these inspections that they're getting ready to do look like the same type of logic. Let's try to punish the manufacturer so we can either A, put the manufacturer out of business, or get them really behind in their manufacturing, or make them spend so much extra money in compliance, possibly legal fees, maybe fines. You guys can see where this could go, right? Where they could have to pass it along to all the consumers and raise the price of these firearms. Because that's what happens, right? When it costs the business more money to do business, it gets passed on to the consumer. So this is something that, look, you might not like Smith & Wesson. You might not like any of the companies that are in New England. Or maybe you do because they make really good firearms. I know a lot of you guys are fans of this SD9VE. You have their ARs, their revolvers, their shields. There's a bunch of new products. I mean, I could go on and on. Smith & Wesson's kind of a big deal, right? Well, it goes on to say that they're going to be coming through here for at least 30 days, but it could be going on even further. The request asks for IOIs with at least 3 years of experience and experience with manufacturer compliance inspections. Goes on to say, to some employees in the ATF, this sounds like a fishing expedition targeting the legal sale of firearms. Yep, and this operation seems to be run by the Director of Industry Operations. Now, like I said earlier, the article continues. The former vice president, and last time I checked, she used to be they call her Kamala, many things. She used to be the junior senator from California, right? They've lobbied to remove these federal protections against civil suits. That's what I was talking about earlier. The Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act that protects manufacturers from anti-gun groups, such as the Brady Organization, from funding lawsuits to make it economically unfeasible for anyone to run a gun company. Well, as of right now, that act is still the law, even though, again, Biden, Harris have been advocating for a long, long time to get rid of that law. They get rid of that law, the firearms industry in this country is essentially over. Now it appears, in an attempt just to bog down, and maybe if they get really lucky, shut down firearms companies, at least as of now in the New England area. Now, this is just me. If I were to opine, if they become, in their opinion, successful at this, meaning miring them with fines, backlogs, whatever, if they feel this is a success, what would keep them from going on to all the different regions of the country? But this is all adding up. This is getting crazy. This is something that you guys should be worried about. I don't know what the answer is. You know, the ATF is supposed to be law enforcement. Well, the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. So any gun control laws, in my opinion, and I believe in the opinion of the Founding Fathers, is unconstitutional because your rights are endowed to you by your Creator. These are laws of nature, of nature's God, and that's what the Declaration of Independence says. And the Second Amendment is only there to prohibit the government from infringing upon your natural rights. Now, I know that the Declaration also says this is supposed to be a country of the people and that we're only supposed to have a government that runs to the consent of the governed. So, I guess while we still have representatives in this country, I would get a hold of your reps, get a hold of these people and say the ATF, they're not serving the will of the people anymore. They're trying to undermine laws that protect the firearms industry, things like that. So, I'm curious to see what you guys' comments are. At first, it's like, well, what the heck? Who cares? They're going after Smith & Wesson. I mean, that's not what I think, but maybe that's going through your head. No, it's a big deal because this is always a slippery slope, and I know you guys are tired of hearing that, but it really is. You give them an inch, they take a mile. They're never going to give us anything back. They just keep wanting more and more and more. And if they're coming in there trying to compliance and paperwork to death and trying to get them for not crossing T's and dotting I's, these are the type of violations these IOIs inspect for, okay? Look, from what I understand, there's no allegations or any direct information they have that Smith & Wesson is committing any crimes at all. This is literally just an effort to go through a mass sweeping. They call it the strong arm of the law, right? The boys show up with their clipboards, their thick Coke bottle glasses, their briefcases. In this case, quite a few of them that they're trying to gather up. They're trying to gather up the best they've got, it appears, to come into this area and convene on one of the United States' oldest firearms companies. One that, again, we want to keep manufacturing strong in the United States. We want them to be able to make more of these firearms, to get them down in price, not up in price. And I feel that this could have the complete opposite effect, and it could have a chilling effect on people being able to affordably exercise their right to keep and bear arms that is protected by the Second Amendment. I'm going to leave a link to this article down in the description, a link to John Crump's YouTube channel, and make sure you guys go check it out. Nice little pistol, actually. I mean, these right now are going for like $100, $150 more than they were when I bought this just a couple years ago. We need prices to come down from Smith & Wesson and these other big New England manufacturers. Not go up due to all the different things that this new expedition, if you want to call it that, may very well cause. I'll leave you with this. Here's a quote from the New Hampshire State Director for Gun Owners of America. Alan Rice says, "This sounds like a blatant attempt to harass legitimate businesses. The Biden administration is working overtime to make things difficult and inconvenient so that fewer people will want to engage in the business of manufacturing and selling firearms to law-abiding people. These burdensome inspections will surely result in the increased costs to be passed along to gun buyers." And that's what I was talking about earlier. And that's what I'm afraid of. Here's an idea that he has at the end, Mr. Rice. He says, Rice further stated if he was running a gun or ammunition manufacturer, he would respectfully decline to supply arms and ammunition to any federal law enforcement agencies as long as the Biden administration is weaponizing law enforcement against a constitutionally protected industry. I agree. I've heard of that idea before, and sounds like a pretty good idea to me. But I know a lot of you are very smart people, so let me know your ideas down in the comments. Alright, I'll be back on here with some gun reviews and hopefully no more ATF leaks, but unfortunately maybe some more of those soon too. Alright, thanks for watching and have a good one.